Good evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football channel, your daily Arsenal news, updates, debates, and my opinions. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. It's a Tuesday evening. The Champions League is back, but there is very little hype around it because, let's be real, the two games this evening aren't the best. There's a bit of Arsenal news here and there. We'll have a bit of conversation. Trossard or Jesus? Who do you want up front? Ross Lawman, VV Vlad, John X, Ethan Udall, Magnus, Rohit, Black Gunner, Emilio, Devin, loads of you in the YouTube chat already, which is lovely to see. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you have had a wonderful Tuesday. It is Tuesday today, isn't it? Yeah, it is Tuesday. It is Tuesday. Jamistic, good to see you as well. There is a bit of news on Tomiyasu. Actually, two bits technically of good news on Tomiyasu, which is exciting. Hey, Rory. It's been a while since I've seen any of your videos. The videos, the YouTube content disappeared for a while, but we are now back in full flow. We're back in full flow. Good to see those of you on TikTok as well. If you do want to join the YouTube stream, the link is in my bio to that. You can jump over to the YouTube stream. I'm actually going to be showing some stats and stuff on the stream that you'll only be able to see on YouTube. So if you want to see those, you know what to do. Doctor, good to see you. I am very well. Thank you very much. But let's get into the Tomiyasu news, which is really the only Arsenal news today, which has been a pretty slow day. And the Arsenal news, and this is coming from Ollie A. Informer on Twitter. Now, obviously, he's a Twitter in the know, so it's not like top tier source. But to be fair to him, he's had the Arsenal team news ahead of schedule pretty consistently this season. So when it comes to team news, I do trust him. And he simply tweeted today, Tomiyasu signing a fresh contract and being available for the game against Burnley are two positives to take from a pretty dull Tuesday. So that's the news. Supposedly, Tomiyasu has signed his fresh contract and is going to be available at the weekend. Ollie is top. Yeah, Ollie's been reliable this season. He seems like a good lad as well. So that's the news. That is the news, and it's good news as well. Tomiyasu, would you start Tomiyasu this weekend? Would you start Tomiyasu this weekend? And if so, who for? Left back or right back? Ross Lawman says he missed the stream yesterday due to new baby niece was born. So difficult decisions were made. Ross, I understand. I appreciate that you're here tonight. You missed out last night on a VV Vlad double, on a dirty double when it came to Guest Laguna. But I hope your baby niece as well. Tommy at right back for sure. Yeah, see, I do think we probably need to. I think we need to start resting Ben White, not like regularly, but I think you've got to pick and choose which games you rest Ben White for, because I think he's really important. And I think Burnley is one where you could get away with resting him. I'm a big fan of Rory Talks on TikTok. Thank you. I appreciate that. To be honest, keep Kivior at left back this weekend. Bring Tomiyasu in on the 60th or 70th minute. Yeah, you could do that as well. I'd start Zinchenko if he's fit against Burnley. It's kind of his game. Yeah, the issue, I don't know if Zinchenko is going to be fit against in time for Burnley. We haven't really had any news on Zinchenko other than that it was up in the air. So let me just move that a little bit. So yeah, we'll see with Zinchenko. Ben White has recently just got on form. He has, but the issue that Ben White had before Dubai was that he was just exhausted. And so you don't want to burn him out again if you can avoid it. But maybe like Emilio said, maybe we play Ben White for an hour and that's all he needs to play. And then you bring on Tomiyasu. So Karim on TikTok says Zinchenko is trash. I strongly disagree, Karim. I strongly disagree. Zinchenko, for a game like Burnley, Zinchenko is an important player. Burnley away, they're going to sit in deep. It's going to be very difficult to break through them. That's where you need a Zinchenko. Now, we don't necessarily need one. I thought West Ham tried sitting in deep and we scored 6 past them without him. So you don't necessarily need him. Thomas Partey news. Nothing really on Thomas Partey. It's all, the injury news on Thomas Partey since really the start of January, where it sounded like he was close to being back, but they didn't want to announce it. And then he picked up another like setback and this, that, and the other. It's difficult. Ross Lawman said we've got UCL games coming up, so rotation is vital. Yeah, exactly. We get to a point, right, later, kind of towards the end of March. No, the end of February. Basically, there's a point where we go like Champions League, Chelsea, Man City. And at that point, you're going to want to use Ben White for all of those games. And if you've used him in all of the games building up to that, all of a sudden fatigue starts setting in at the wrong time. So we need to be smart with it. We've got to be smart with it. It's the one thing, if you compare the minutes that Arsenal players play compared to the minutes that Man City players play, the key Arsenal players get no rest compared to the key City players other than Rodri. Rodri is the only one that never really gets a break. Ruben Diaz to an extent. But outside of that, they're smart with it. They're smart with it. And there's a reason that Man City hit the second half of the season. And usually the majority of their squad is fit and the majority of their squad is fresh. And I think there are lessons to be learned from that. Did you see Smith Rowe's injury image with Arteta sliding in on him? I don't think that was Smith Rowe. I thought that was a joke because Smith Rowe did get injured jumping over someone that was slide tackling him in training and landing awkwardly on his ankle. But I think the picture you're referring to, I'm certain it was Erdegaard that was in that picture, not Smith Rowe, where he was jumping over Arteta. But maybe I'm wrong. If that was genuinely where he got injured, then that is ridiculous. Arthur says, "What about Zubimendi?" I'm actually going to talk about Zubimendi in a little bit. I'm going to bring up some of his stats on the YouTube stream, which are quite interesting. So we will get into that in a little bit. To be fair, when was the last time Kivior played this many matches in a row? He might need a bit of a rest. That's true. That's true. When players don't play much, to suddenly start getting them playing all of the minutes can cause them injuries. Saka and Gabby getting subbed off more often, so Arteta is learning. Yeah, Arteta is learning. Arteta's definitely learning, which is about time because we have had games where you're like, why is Bukayo Saka still on the pitch? Why is Declan Rice still on the pitch? So that's good. Who do you pick in the Porto match, Kivior or Zinchenko? Porto away, I actually think I go Tomiyasu. Did you see that Rio Ferdinand said Saka isn't world class? Yeah, but Rio Ferdinand, like, don't get me wrong. I think Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher can be a bit hit or miss, but they can be very good pundits. Rio Ferdinand is a donkey. Like, no matter who he's talking about, he is a donkey. And there's a reason that he doesn't have any sort of prime slot on Sky Sports or anything. He is just a bit of a cretin. I would like to see Saliba and Gabriel rotated slightly more. Same. But with Saliba and Gabriel, we've really not had the opportunity to. Like, the players that you would realistically... Obviously, Timber got injured. Outside of that, you'd be looking at White, Kivior, or Tomiyasu. And the majority of the games that we've had, only Kivior really has been available on the bench to swap for Gabriel. Saliba's the one that I worry about just because of what happened at the end of last season. But do you think our injured players will be back by March? Yeah, so the injured players, we were speaking about this, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? There's optimism at Arsenal that every single player that's currently out for Arsenal will be back by the start of March. All of the players are either the long-term injuries, which is like Timber, Vieira, Partey. They're all expected to be back. And then the other ones are short-term injuries that are also expected to be back. So it's pretty good. That would be ideal. If we can go into March with a full-strength squad, that would be ideal. Tomiyasu played centre-back for Japan and his former club. Yeah, Tomiyasu is a centre-back, in my opinion. He's like Ben White. He's a centre-back that's adapted to playing at full-back. And Tomiyasu actually more often than not plays as the left centre-back for Japan as well. Timber as well. Yeah, Timber is, but I don't think we'll see Timber at centre-back very often. Because he's only 5'10". I don't think we'll see Timber at centre back very often for Arsenal. Bit late, but able to join. Hope you're having a good evening. I am. Thank you, Maddie. Welcome. Good to see you. Did you see Lineker saying Saka scoring just a penalty at the weekend, but when Lampard, Kane, and Rooney do it, it's world class. But Saka's just okay. It's a penalty. Yeah. But that'll always happen. For whatever reason, Saka's just not getting the credit he deserves this season. But he's already on what? 10 goals? Is he on 10 goals in the Premier League this season? He only got 14 last season. And yet everyone says he's dropped off this season. So sometimes I feel like, Hannah, thank you for the rose on TikTok. Sometimes I feel like he can't really win, And I think he's looking a lot better since Dubai. I think he's been looking a lot better since Dubai. John says, what do you think has been our main weakness this season? For me, there have been, you've asked for the main weakness. So I would say it's been underperforming on our XG, not taking our chances, creating multiple big chances a game that we don't put away. I think that's been the main weakness. But that has looked better recently. The secondary weakness has been conceding stupid goals. We've conceded, and this could genuinely be the difference, right? At the top of the table, or it is the difference at the top of the table in terms of why Liverpool are still above us in the league. Liverpool have conceded an XG of 29 goals, but only conceded 23 goals. So they've conceded 6 goals fewer than the XG that they've conceded. And a massive part of that, of course, is Alisson. We've conceded 18 XG, but conceded 22 goals. So we've underperformed by 4 goals. So we've outperformed Liverpool by 11 XG conceded, but we've actually only conceded 1 goal more than them. And so for me, that has been another issue. And the prime example was the goal that we conceded against Liverpool when we played them at home. With how we've been playing since Dubai, I think us fans could chip in to make a monthly thing. Honestly, I was looking at the fixture list the other day, and I'm like, every time there's more than 7 days without a game, get them out to Dubai. If they want to go to Dubai, get them out there. Do you think Raya's height is a concern? No, I don't think so. When you consider his statistics for claiming high crosses are pretty much the best in the league for goalkeepers. His height isn't the best, but he's got an unbelievable jump on him. So I don't think it's too bad. Who would you leave out of a matchday squad when everyone's fit? Yeah, we spoke about this yesterday in terms of who you leave out. So I think when everyone's fit, I think there are 3 players you have to leave out. Maybe 4. How many did you have to leave out? 4. So Cedric and El Neni, 100%. Then I think you've got to leave out a defender. Kivior, probably. And then an attacker, I think it would be Eddie Nketiah. Because realistically, at the moment, we've had, probably Gabriel Jesus is our first choice number 9. When we've not got Jesus, we've played Havertz, or we've played Trossard. Where does Eddie Nketiah come in? And if we're selling him in the summer, which I assume we're going to do, then it's time to start phasing him out anyway. Why is Cedric still at the club? It's so unfortunate because he doesn't want to. He's got 6 months left on 100 grand a week, and then he will probably. I like him, but he's taking wages. Yeah, exactly. He's taking wages like that. It was one of the bigger mistakes that we made was giving Cedric, and it was the first ever signing under Arteta. And I'm not sure how much control he had over the negotiate. Well, he wouldn't have had any control of the negotiating of the contract. But putting Cedric Suarez on 100 grand a week for 4 years was criminal. Absolutely criminal. I don't blame him. I don't blame him for staying. Get your bread. Because I tell you what, the contract, his next contract, wherever it is, whether it's Besiktas or whatever, he's going to be on like 30 grand a week if he's lucky. Someone said it a few times. Strongest back 4, in my opinion. and it's very early to say it because of the fact that we only saw him for a couple of preseason games and the first 45 minutes against Nottingham Forest. But for me, it's Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, and Jurriën Timber. I do think that is the strongest back four that we've got. Maybe they could have brought out his contract. Yeah, but the thing is, Justin, so certain players we've bought out their contract, right? Or helped pay off some of it in order to get them to leave. With Cedric, there was no point. It would have effectively, it's going to cost us the same amount either way. If we bought out his contract, like, it wouldn't have helped us financially, and we'd have just not. The reality is, actually, in the game against West Ham, Kivior was the only defender on the bench. No, sorry, Kivior wasn't even on the bench. Did we have any defenders on the bench? No, we had no defenders on the bench other than Cedric. So, realistically, as much as I don't like him and I don't rate him, we have come to the point in this season where Cedric is the first choice defensive substitute. I mean, I'd still rather bring on Ruel Walters. I'd still rather put Declan Rice in the back line and bring Jorginho on. But the fact is, he has become the only senior defender that can actually be on the bench. Walters, but yeah, he's not a senior player. Yeah, I'd have, even at the weekend against West Ham, I'd have brought on Walters over Cedric any day of the week. We were 6-0 up. We could have conceded 4. It wouldn't really have mattered. And you're not going to suddenly concede 4 by bringing Walters on anyway. So I don't really understand why we brought Cedric on, to be honest. But we did. Who do you want as a first choice striker next season? For me, it's Osimhen still at the moment. For me, it's still Osimhen. Anyway, I'm going to bring up, I'm on the YouTube. If you're watching on TikTok, you're not going to be able to see this unless you jump over to the YouTube channel, which is linked in my bio. But I'm bringing up so this is Martin Zubimendi's stats. I'm on FOTMob, and I wanted to bring up Martin Zubimendi's stats, right? So, obviously, he's 25 years old. Literally just turned 25 years old, like a week ago. He's what's 180 centimeters? Does anyone know what 180 centimeters is? What's that? About 5'11"? 5'11"? What's 180 centimeters? Who uses bloody centimeters? Honestly, I think that's about 5'11", but someone will correct me if I'm wrong. According to FOTMob, his market value is 45 million, which 45 million euros, whatever that is in pounds. But it's interesting, right? If you look at his stats, so these are his per 90 stats, and they're compared to every other La Liga player that plays in his position. So you can see he ranks well for goals. He ranks all right for expected goals. He outperforms his expected goals to goals. He outperforms it basically by double, which is pretty impressive. Shots doesn't take that many, which means that, you know, his shot conversion rate is decent. Average for assist making, less than average for expected assist making. But this is good. Successful passes and pass accuracy, very strong. Accurate long ball accuracy, not great, but we don't really play many long balls, so that's not too bad. Chances created, not great. Successful dribbles, not great. Dribble success is good. But it's down here that's good. So this is, if we wanted him to play as the 8 alongside Declan Rice, the duels that he wins, all solid numbers for the duels that he wins. So the question for me, really, from these is going forwards. If you've got Declan Rice, yeah, great. It's good to have someone alongside him that's gonna win a lot of duels. It's gonna win the ball back a lot. But it's the other side. It's the creativity. Passing is good. You'd expect it to be. Does he create enough? And that's where, for me, I don't know if a Frankie de Jong is better. And someone said to compare him to Frankie de Jong. Let's compare him to Frankie de Jong. Let's compare him to Frankie de Jong. Now, de Jong is a year older. He is a centimeter taller. Probably twice the money. So that's worth bearing in mind. He's probably twice the money. Per 90, his goals are low, All of his goal stats are low. But look at this. Far, far better. Pass accuracy up at 93%. Successful passes, far better. Expected assists, way better. Accurate long balls, long ball accuracy, way better. Chances created, much better. Cross accuracy and successful crosses. And that cross accuracy is a big one if you're playing Kai Havertz up front as well. On a defensive side, he's not much worse. You know, he's really, it's pretty comparable on the defensive side. And in possession, similar. Gets dispossessed a bit more. But overall, it's this section here that for me, I think if you're going for the top tier, if you're going to play them alongside Declan Rice, they've got to be able to do the defensive work, which both of them can. But it's that. And 93% pass accuracy is unbelievable. So there you go. So realistically, Frankie de Jong is better. Frankie de Jong is definitely better. Comparing de Jong and who? I was comparing de Jong and Zubamendi. It's over on the YouTube channel. The stats are up on the screen on the YouTube channel, which is linked in my bio if you're on TikTok. So it was 5'10", 5'10/5'11" for Zubamendi. Chat, we need a new left back. I don't think we need a new left back. I don't think we need... On the books, we effectively have 5 players currently that can play left back. Like, we've still got 10. We've got 6 players. Wait, no. Yeah, Nuno Tavares, he's still on the books, right? He's still on loan. So, we've got Zinchenko, Tomiyasu, Timber, Kivior, Tierney, and Nuno Tavares. We don't need another left back. I don't think we need another left back. You could argue that none of them are what we need, but I think they are. I think Timber's brilliant. I'm praying Timber will be as good as before his injury. Yeah, I hope so. How much would you pay for Tony? I honestly wouldn't go much above 50 million, and I don't think that'll get him. Can you compare Tony and Osimhen? Yeah, let's go and compare Tony and Osimhen. So my preference is Osimhen. My preference is Osimhen, but he will be considerably more expensive. Okay. I've clicked on his name. It's just not loading. I'm clicking on his name and it's just not loading. I don't know why. Hello. Okay, my internet is struggling. We'll check that afterwards. We need a backup world-class defender. Yeah, but I think we've got players coming through that can kind of, I think we've got time to give Kivior to improve. I think he's looked really good. We can't go and get world-class backups in every position now. And I think there are positions that are more important to go and get at least a high-level backup, right? So for me, compared to a defender, for example, which is what you're saying, for me, I'd be far more concerned about getting a winger, a versatile winger that can play either side and is genuinely good enough depth for Saka and Martinelli. For me, that's Pedro Neto. For me, that's Pedro Neto. Oh, there we go. Victor Osimhen stats are up. There we go. So, 25 years old, 185 centimeters. What's that like? 6'1"? But we'll go down to his. Yeah, either FOTMob or my internet has shit the bed. So again, we can't really wait for those stats. 7 goals and 2 assists in 11 starts so far this season for Osimhen. I don't think Neto would downgrade to Arsenal. I think he would. Well, it wouldn't be a downgrade. Do that. That's crashed. 2024, backup goalkeeper, an 8, a backup right winger, and a striker. Jelly Belly, good to see you. Good to see you, Jelly Belly. Look, the priorities are, in order, striker, midfielder, that's an 8 that can play as a 6, realistically. Basically, Jorginho, but younger and more athletic. Winger, then maybe a defender. And obviously, within that, what we're probably going to do is sell Aaron Ramsdale. And when we do that, we'll have to bring in another backup goalkeeper. For me, the backup goalkeeper should just be someone that's like, we're not going to go and get an Ortega, right? I don't think that's going to happen. For me, it should just be an experienced Premier League goalkeeper that if you really have to, you can rely on them. That's all it should be for me. So every position, not really. Striker, midfielder, winger, and then maybe a defender. Three signings isn't outrageous. Okay, I'm going to try one more time on FOTMob, but it really is shitting the bed, so I don't think it's going to work. Rodri or Rice? Probably. I don't know. I genuinely think I'd rather have Rice at the moment. Mo says full squad by the end of the month. Yeah, it does sound like we're going to have a full squad by the end of the month. It does sound like we are, assuming that no current players get injured, no currently fit players pick up an injury, and assuming that none of the players coming back from injury have any further setbacks. It sounds like we're going to be there. Surely there's an academy goalkeeper ready to step up. Not really, I don't think. I don't think Karl Heinz ready to step up. I don't think Okonkwo's ready to step up. Okonkwo has looked decent, but you tell me, would you be happy to see Okonkwo step in for Raya in a Champions League game? I wouldn't. Would you take 50 million from Newcastle or Chelsea for Ramsdale, or demand more? I'd rather try and sell. I'd rather try and sell him to Bayern Munich. I'd rather take 40 million off Bayern Munich than 50 million off Chelsea or Newcastle. Thoughts on Højlund and Garnacho? I think Højlund's very. I like Højlund. I do like Rasmus Højlund. I won't lie. Garnacho, I think, got a little bit overrated this season. I still think there are times where he's a little bit weak. His end product isn't good enough. But Højlund's the real deal. James Souza says, in order of priority, Osimhen, Frankie de Jong, Neto, Branthwaite, and Sergio Rico for a backup goalkeeper. I mean, that would be some hell of a window, wouldn't it? I mean, Osimhen, de Jong, Neto, and Branthwaite would be a ridiculous window. Branthwaite, I'm a massive fan of, to be fair. I am a massive fan of Branthwaite. It separated out the casuals in the Everton-Man City game when people saw Branthwaite get bodied by Haaland and were just immediately like, oh, he's overrated, he's overhyped. I actually thought he was really good against Man City. What do you think of Guirassy? Honestly, not seen enough of him play. I've seen like various other people's opinions on him. I'm not going to sit here and waffle to you pretending that I've got much of an opinion on him. We cannot let Chelsea sign Osimhen over us. Well, look, ultimately, there's nothing we could... If Chelsea go in and offer something that we can't compete with or that we're not willing to compete with, so be it. I'm more than happy, and I think it's proven itself to work well, to just... If you set a price tag on a player and you don't really go much over it. And if someone like Chelsea comes in and goes well over you and beats you to it, then so be it. You know, it didn't work. It didn't work out badly with Mudryk, did it? For us, we went and got Trossard. Guirassy looks class. Yeah, I mean, look, I know that other people have high opinions of him. So, if Everton again and Forest get deducted 10 points, who gets relegated this season? Sheffield United, Burnley. And then I'm still not convinced that Crystal Palace stay up. Genuinely still not convinced that Palace... The issue is Everton would be on 9 points. Yeah, maybe Everton, actually, honestly. 9 points is a big, big deficit to come back from. And even though they've not been playing badly recently, they've not been picking up wins. Champions League lineups have been posted. Nice. I wonder if they're on FOTMob yet, which just isn't loading for whatever reason. What are the lineups? Let's have a look at the lineup, shall we? Whose lineup do you want to see? Let's get Man City's lineup first. So the Copenhagen starting 11: Grabara, Dix, fair play. Vavro, Clayson, Matson, Diogo, Elianusi, Geller, McKenna, Achuri, and Falk. I know very few of them. The Man City lineup: Ederson, Walker, Stones, Diaz, Ake, Rodri, De Bruyne, Bernardo, Foden, Grealish, Haaland. That pretty much is their best 11. For a Champions League game, he's basically put out the reliables in terms of Bernardo in the midfield, Grealish, who he's been kind of avoiding playing as much in the Premier League. That's, yeah, fair play. What's Real Madrid's lineup? Real Madrid's an interesting one because they've been riddled with injuries this season. And yet, okay, so the Leipzig lineup: Gulacki, Simikan, Orban, Klosterman, Raum, Olmo, Xavi, Henriks, Schlager, Sesko, and Openda. And the Real Madrid. Have Real Madrid not put their own lineup out? Okay, well, the Real Madrid lineup's not out yet because for some reason they haven't put it out yet. Why have they've retweeted the They've retweeted the unless I'm being a moron, they've retweeted the Leipzig lineup but haven't put their own lineup out. Suit yourselves. I'll let you know when I know. But there you go. Anyway, it is time for Guess the Gooner, the game where I give you 5 clues about an ex or current Arsenal player, and you have to guess who that player is. First person to get it correct in the YouTube chat is a legend, a goat, and really has the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community. If you're watching on TikTok, they posted it 50 minutes ago. That's a bit early. If you're watching on TikTok and you want to get involved in Guess the Gooner, head over to the YouTube channel. Link is in my bio. Oh, yeah, they posted it. They posted it 2 hours before kickoff. Or is their kickoff earlier? I'm so confused. No, they just posted it well early. So the Real Madrid lineup: Lunin in goal. Unbelievable that they've, Kepa is literally just a bench goalkeeper for them. Carvajal, Nacho, Mendy, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Kroos, Brahim, Rodrigo, Valverde, and Vinicius Jr. I was trying to figure out, so who plays in defence for them there? Carvajal, Nacho, Mendy, Camavinga? Who the hell plays centre-back for them? Nacho. Who plays alongside Nacho at centre-back? Tchouaméni? I don't know. Anyway, it is time for Guess the Gooner. Get into the YouTube chat if you want to try and win. So, today's Guess the Gooner. Clue number 1. They have won both French and Turkish league titles. They have won both French and Turkish league titles. Now, it's not Rudiger playing at centre-back. He's not in the team. It's not Rudiger. He's not in the team. Clue number 2. They made 63 appearances for the Arsenal. 63 appearances for the Arsenal. It is not Pepe. Clue number 3. Their first senior appearance was for KSK Beveren. Clue number 4. They were signed by Arsenal in summer 2011 for 12 million euros. No one's got it correct on TikTok yet. Someone got it correct early on YouTube. Someone got it correct after 2 clues on YouTube. And clue number 5, they won AFCON with the Ivory Coast in 2015. So, French and Turkish titles, 63 Arsenal appearances. First senior appearance was for KSK Beveren. Signed by Arsenal in summer 2011 for 12 million euros and won AFCON with Ivory Coast in 2015. Lots of you have got it. It is indeed Gervinho. Gervinho. Those of you that played FIFA way back in the day might remember him as Yao Kawasi. But the first person to get it correct, and this might be the first time that this man has won Guess the Gooner. It's Lewis Cooper, or Louis, probably Louis, right? Louis Cooper, who got Gervinho first. Lots of people were saying Nicola Pepe, but it was indeed Gervinho. Congratulations to Louis Cooper. Second was Ethan Udall. Third was Ross Lawman. Fourth was Black Gunner. And fifth was Alex Suter. So there you go. Congratulations to Louis Cooper. Is that your first ever win, Louis? Is that your first ever win? Let me know. But congratulations. VV Vlad has admitted he had no clue. No dirty double for VV Vlad today. For some reason, the TikTok streamers, the thing that's holding up my phone has died. So sorry about that, TikTok. Hang on. Let me plug this in, TikTok. Let me plug this in. You're coming back. You're coming back. Ooh. Ooh. Hey, there you are. Good to see you again. What a stupid stand. Anyway. Forehead merchant. Yeah, he did have a sizable forehead, to be fair. Did old Yao Kawasi. Anyway, it's time for Guess the Non-Gooner. It is time for Guess the Non-Gooner. This is where I give you the career path of a player who has not and does not play for Arsenal. I'll give you their full career path, and you have to guess who it is. You do get pride, you do get respect, but not the same level as Louis Cooper has got for getting Guess the Gooner. So, this player started their career at Charlton Athletic. They went to Liverpool. They went on loan to Blackpool. They then went permanently to Swansea. They then went to Newcastle United, Nottingham Forest, and Rizespor on loan. It is not Joe Gomez. It's not Charlie Adams. It's not Adams or Gomez. It's not Joe Allen. Someone's got it right on TikTok. Okay, Charlton. They went through the Charlton Academy as well. Charlton, Liverpool, Blackpool on loan, Swansea permanently, Newcastle, Nottingham Forest, and then a loan to Rizespor. And there we go. Now they're getting it in. And the first person to get it correct was Fishy Boopkin. That might be another new winner as well. I'll be honest, I don't recognize Fishy Boopkin. So congratulations on being a first-time winner if you are. Ibrahim came second. Anas Ibrahim came second. Abukar came third. VV Vlad came fourth. And Ethan Udall came fifth. And Ollie said, I got it first on TikTok. And you did, Ollie. You did. I did recognize your name as it went past. Sweat Ollie won. Yeah, but the winners have to be on YouTube, not on TikTok, because I look at the YouTube chat. The thing is, the TikTok chat the TikTok chat goes so quickly, and I can't go back to see who won. Whereas the YouTube chat, I can scroll upwards and see who said it first. So there you go. Louis Cooper and Fishy Boopkin. Congratulations on your wins. Neto or Elise? For me, Neto over Elise. I think he's more versatile in terms of playing off both sides. They're both a little bit injury prone, but Elise's injuries worry me a little bit more. And I also think that Elise has a bit of an attitude problem. I've spoken to a couple of people who have spoken to other people who think Elise's got a bit of an attitude problem. And he did, remember, there have been signs of it as well that have been out there. Like when he did that thing at when he was at Reading. Was it Reading? and he messaged when he was at Reading, and he messaged that person, was like, basically, I was like, I'm not going to be at this shit club forever or something. Olmo to score a brace tonight against Madrid. I do like Dani Olmo. I'm surprised he's not moved anywhere yet. I mean, not that, no disrespect to RB Leipzig, but he seems like a player that I think would do quite well in the Premier League. Would you take Victor Gyökeres as a cheap alternative to Osimhen, 25 years old, 16 goals in 19 this season? I'd consider it. I'd consider it. He's one of those players that I think is the next tier down, and I don't really want to go into that next tier down. But if we have to do that, then he'd probably be top of that list. I think he's in that list for me with the likes of. I'm still not 100% convinced I put Dominic Solanke in that list yet, but Boniface, Gyökeres, they're ones that we might have to fall back on if Osimhen goes to Chelsea. And if Osimhen goes to Chelsea, I don't see us not getting Tony at that point. Would you sell Nelson in the summer? I mean, so realistically, right? How many in a matchday squad? You've got room for 6 out-and-out attackers, right? Now, obviously, with us, it gets a little bit messier because you've got players like Smith Rowe, Kai Havertz that you could argue are midfielders. But if you're going to say, right, you've got 6 spots for out-and-out attackers: Saka, Jesus, Martinelli, Trossard, new signing, Neto, ideally. Get rid of Nketiah. One more. Have you got room for Reece Nelson at that point? But then that means that you've arguably only got 2 spaces for midfielders. And if you've got Jorginho, a new midfielder, that leaves no room for Fabio Vieira or Smith Rowe. So probably not. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if we did sell Reece Nelson and Nketiah this summer, to be honest. If we went out and got a Neto, some people, on TikTok saying Nico Williams is an option. No, the right-wing market, I've been saying it, the right-wing market this summer is really good. And when there's lots of people available on the market in the same position, you normally get them for a bit cheaper. So whether it is Neto, Elise, Nico Williams, Johan Bakayoko, there are players out there. And I think we've probably got to go for one of them. But the thing is, by that point, we might have spent nearly 200 million quid on a striker and a midfielder. Kubo, yeah. Dovbyk from Girona. To be honest, I've not seen a huge amount of him. I've barely watched any of Girona actually this season, but Rooney Bargi. Yeah, it's a big market. I mean, I think Rooney. I don't really want to say Dovbyk because I'm not seeing much of him, but I think they're probably the level below. Selling academy players will also help FFP as it's straight profit. Yeah, I mean, we can easily, between Nketiah, Reece Nelson, and Ramsdale. I know Ramsdale's not an academy product, so it's not the same. But between those 3, we can raise 100 million quid. Frankie would be perfect, but it's a lot of bread. Yeah, it is. It is expensive. It is expensive. How much would you allow Ramsdale to leave for, considering he signed a new contract? Well, the new contract's only 3 years, and he'll have done a year of that, so he'll only have 2 years left. I'd sell him for 40 million if it was abroad. It would have to be well over 50 million for me to do it to the Prem. Watching Champions League tonight? Yeah, I'll watch. I don't actually know which game I'll watch. City against Copenhagen is going to be so dull. Leipzig against Madrid. It's in Leipzig, right? That might be decent. That might be decent. Are you doing another Guess the Footballer? Not tonight, but we'll be back live at 6:30 tomorrow night for another where we will have Guess the Gooner. That's actually going to be the end of the live stream. I do massively appreciate everyone that has joined, both on YouTube and on TikTok. You're all legends. I massively appreciate you. We'll be back again 6:30 tomorrow. Until then, I hope you all have a fantastic evening. Enjoy the Champions League games if you watch them. It would be nice to get a little bit of an upset. And until then, good evening. Buenos dias.